think
They
you're
don't
being.
call them
Hi,
minibuses.
Hi, good morning. Today's September 19th, 2019. We're going to begin today's work session. If we could start with the pledge. Sean, would you like to lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just before we begin today's work session, a couple announcements. On Saturday, September 28th at 8:30 a.m., we're going to be doing a cleanup at the Riverhead train station once again. Please come down and join us for that, or you can call 631-727-3200-251 for more information. We hope to see you there. And then the Anti-Litter Committee will be holding a cleanup on October 19th at 9 a.m., starting at Town Hall. You can also call the 631-727-3200, extension 253 for more information about that. And groups are welcome to come to the litter
Yes.
cleanup. Yep.
Sure.
So, and we have all the supplies and plenty of snacks, correct?
We're still looking for more volunteers, and yes, we'll have food.
Okay. All right, we are going to begin today's work session with 307 East Main Street Site Plan Amendment. So if you'd like to come up and join us. Sean, are you coming up? No?
I think Greg's got it.
Okay.
You have questions, I'll come up. Got it.
Do you want to take this one? I'll share. Or you got extra?
So the planning department has received and reviewed an administrative site plan application which proposes to in effect nullify a facade renovation which was approved by the Riverhead Town Board by resolution number 582 dated August 4th, 2015. That approval approved the facade renovation in conjunction with a change of use from a two-story office building to a restaurant on the first floor with an apartment on the second floor. As I said, the application now is to in effect nullify those original facade approvals, which originally consisted of new doors and windows, removing the existing stucco finish from the building, and installing a new briquette veneer, as well as new gooseneck lighting. Town board approving this application would in effect allow the building to remain in its current state. The subject location is the Shady's Restaurant on the south side of East Main Street. The proposed site plan application, although minor, is considered a type 1 action pursuant to Riverhead Town Code, Chapter 255, which requires mandatory coordinator review. Agencies identified as being involved agencies are the Architectural Review Board, the Landmarks Preservation Commission, New York State DOT, and the New York State Office of Historical Preservation. Staff would recommend that the town board adopt a resolution requesting lead agency status and circulate that request to involved agencies. The subject site is presently approved with a two-story, approximately 1,400 square foot building which contains a first floor restaurant and seating on the second floor for the restaurant. It is noted that the original approval did call for a second floor apartment. However, when the building permits were filed, they did contain restaurant uses on both the first and second floor. That is not a violation of site plan approval. They were issued on the building permits. The change of use of the second floor did not necessarily trigger a site plan application. What originally triggered the site plan application was the proposed facade renovations. So change of use, fire marshal permits were all issued with the second floor restaurant, and it doesn't violate the site plan. I'm
Slow
sorry.
down.
So, yeah, the fact that there is a restaurant use in the second floor does not violate the site plan, being that all the building permits were issued for the second floor restaurant use. All the fire marshal permits were issued for the second floor restaurant use. They passed all their required building permit inspections as well as their fire marshal inspections. So the application before you, there's no, danger to public safety. It's not like it's not an unsafe building. Currently, the building does not have a certificate of occupancy due to the facade renovations that were never performed. Just to give you a brief history on
That's the only reason.
Correct, yes.
And right now, there is no restaurant use on the second floor at this point.
I believe there's seating on the second floor.
Oh,
So do they, is this applying for the apartment on the second floor or the restaurant?
No, they're not proposing any change of use to the building, so it would say first floor restaurant with seating on the second floor. This application is really in effect just to, say, nullify the original facade improvements and allow the building to exist in its current state. Just to give you a brief history on the parcel, the building was issued a letter of pre-existing use in December of 2014 for a two-story commercial building. The original site plan for the facade improvements and the change of use was approved by the town board in August of 2015. At that time, the Architectural Review Board reviewed the proposed renovations. They recommended approval as submitted. However, due to the parcel being in the Riverhead Historic District, the ARB deferred to the Landmarks Preservation Commission. During the LPC review of the proposed project, the LPC did not consider the building and site in its current condition to be contributing to the Historic District and recommended approval as submitted. I did put out here, just these were the original site plan approvals, just so you can see what the town board had originally approved. Subsequent to the site plan approval, a building permit was issued on June 23rd of 2016, permitting the proposed interior and exterior alterations. In May of 2017, a letter was sent to the applicant informing them that a final planning inspection was required in order to close out the building permit and obtain a C of O. The building permit it expired in June 23rd of 2017, and there were additional letters sent to the applicant regarding key money fees that needed to be paid, as well as reiterating the fact that they needed to close out the building permit to obtain a C of O. The building permit expired in August of 2018. In January of 2019, the applicant did pay the applicable Riverhead Key Water District fees, so that issue was taken care of. And then in January of 2019, a notice of violation was sent to the applicant informing them that they did not have a valid certificate of occupancy. So really, the application before the board is to effectively allow the building to remain in its current state. The town board should consider the current visual impacts the building has to the surrounding area. Whatever the decision that the town board decides to go to, the application will be referred to the ARB and the LPC for their comments to allow the building to remain in its current condition. And that's all that I have for right now. Does the board have any questions procedurally what we're gonna do?
I have a couple questions. This is a non-conforming building, did you say?
No,
No.
it had a letter of pre-existing use. just
Pre-exist-
meaning that
okay,
It was constructed
okay.
prior to zoning.
Okay, and then as far as the awning and stuff like that goes, that was never on a site plan, or that's an addition, because there's a couple awnings?
No, I believe those were addressed through sign permits, but yeah, they were not originally shown on the approved site plan.
And are there any outstanding fees left?
No, the only outstanding fee was the Water District key money fees, which were paid on January 14th of 2019, and I did receive confirmation from the Water District that those were paid.
And the building permit, right, because it expired on June 23rd, 2017?
The building permit did expire. I would think if the board wishes to approve the project, they would have to just pull a basic building permit, close it out, get a certificate of occupancy.
I have no problem with it. I'm not gonna do a commercial for them, but their food is very good. I'm glad that they're there, and I don't wanna see another empty building on Main Street. So I think if we can work with this and make this sustainable for the person that's operating it, who's a very nice guy, by the way. I would rather look past this, and then I would think maybe down the road, he may look into bringing this something back and making it fit in, but I think he's probably waiting for some of the pedestrian traffic to come out of the new apartment house too, to help him out, so
Well,
I have no problem with
I
this.
agree with you, Tim. I think, and I'm down that area of Main Street a lot, probably more than anybody, and I see a lot of interaction with that particular restaurant. And Michelangelo's actually helped that out, as well as helped out Ralph's Ice, so I mean, there's a lot of traffic in that area, foot traffic, because of course there's no parking in the area, so you have to walk there. But, I don't wanna see this hold up, the chance of them vacating the business. I can't let that happen, not at this stage of the game.
And I'm gonna agree. I love having them on Main Street.
I love oxtails.
Is that what you get?
Oxtails.
I need
the
Sand
meat
tax
cakes.
free.
You can't get them anywhere. I mean, it's just one of those things that nobody puts on the menu.
I agree also, and I think when they originally came in with this, with the facade, the community actually spoke up and wanted to, because I think originally they were gonna remove the hummingbirds.
Yeah, they were
And the
big.
community really kind of said, oh, please don't do that, and the owner of the building was, listened and left the hummingbirds on the side of the building. So I think it's great to support a business there, though I do think it does need to go back to the ARB, because this is an amendment to the site plan, and they did weigh in on the original site plan. So I think that since there is a change to that, I think that it should just be run across in front of them.
Alright,
ARB and landmarks.
No, I think Landmarks had deferred to ARB, but we can
I
put
think
it
the
past
other
them
we'll send
again
them to
if you
both
want.
just in the course. I mean, I
Yeah.
think the next meeting of the ARB is next week on the 25th, so I mean, if we can get them on there and then refer to the LPC just to move it along.
Yeah, landmarks is Monday.
Alright,
But
And
either
then,
way, this is still administrative review, right?
Yeah.
correct.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing procedurally is that because of the chapter 255, the town code, the environmental quality review, it is considered a type 1, so I will prepare a resolution for the next town board meeting to coordinate that lead agency. Once 30 days is up, the board can assume lead agency and act as they wish on it.
Okay, perfect. And then they'll have gone through the other boards.
Correct. Yeah, by then we'll have everything wrapped
And I
up.
believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it was the applicant itself that actually came in and was looking for the facade change. It wasn't something that the landmarks and ARB said, we want you to change it. It was on their own,
On their own merits. It
On
seemed
their
to
own
be,
merits coming forth.
self-imposed. They came in proposing these changes. As I said, just the change of use from an office to a restaurant didn't trigger the need for any building improvements. I think it was just something that they wanted to do themselves and.
But just procedurally, since it went through, I think it needs to go back
and
through.
absolutely.
All right.
Berman, we appreciate your professionalism on this.
Very
Yes,
good.
and if
Thank
anyone
you.
hasn't had their food, they should pop in, because the Jamaican takeout is yummy.
So I'll have that
They need a
resolution
good-
for
they
the
need
next
a good
town board.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you.
So they need to get a good lawyer.
Oh.
Keep everything open down there.
Next, we'll move on to Town Board Committee Liaison Update. Anybody have any updates?
Updates.
At the Senior Citizen Advisory Board, our next meeting is next Wednesday. We will be wrapping up working on the updates for the Senior Citizen Reference Guide and book. Had a bid meeting last night. They submitted their budget to the town,
Mm-hmm.
so that's all done, and nothing else crazy going on.
The bid, just in their budget, did they put in for somebody for downtown? I know they were gonna have an ambassador to clean, so that's
As far as
included
I
in
know,
their
that, yes,
personnel
that's
items,
still in
okay.
there, yes, for a
Okay.
part-time,
Yeah, they gotta wait till January.
yes.
Jim,
Okay.
another job for you.
I went to
Just-
chamber this morning.
Just one more, the Senior Citizen Advisory, did they finish their, survey yet, or are they still collecting?
It's still open, they're still
Okay.
collecting, they wanted to try to hit 500.
Okay,
They may not make that, but they're over 300 now.
okay, so you can get that, is that online also, the survey? Can someone download and mail it in?
Not sure, I
Alright.
never checked.
All right, if not, we will
I
put it.
will check,
We'll
okay.
put it on, the website, if people could, we're looking for the Senior Citizen Advisory. It's to, collect data about what people are looking to have access to and to, just information about, the community. So we will put that on, we need 200 more surveys that are needed, so you'll be able to access on there, and I think you'll have to you'll probably have to mail it in after you download it,
Right.
but, or if you want one, we can
Or
mail
you
it to
can
you.
drop them off here, if you
Yeah.
ever come into town hall, there's a drop box right out in the hallway.
And they're available here also?
Absolutely.
Okay, and they're also available at the senior center and I think at the libraries, so,
correct.
all right.
I have a question.
So
on-
Jim, you're a senior, you can fill it.
Yeah, I think I already did, but the Veterans Committee, now I realize they're putting this wall together. Are
Yes.
they still taking applications for that?
Yes, we have several applications and we are still taking applications.
Thank you, because I got some on my desk I gotta get in, that's all.
Yeah, so now
And
that
what do
the
I turn them
school
into
year.
who, you? Or,
They'll go to
Kristen, right?
Kristen,
oh, 'cause-
Kristen
town board
Flex.
coordinator.
Right.
So now that the school is back in session. The tech teacher is working, we've got the material company, and the Island International is donating the materials to actually build the wall with the flag, and then we'll do the individual plaques for all of the veterans
I got
that
four
were.
brothers, I'm just waiting for them all to send me their DD 214s, that's all.
Riverhead School District, right. And those applications are also at the library and online, and online at the school district also.
Good, excellent. That's exciting.
All right, I went to the Chamber of Commerce this morning, just going to mention a couple of things. They're having their annual luncheon on October 28th, which is always a nice event, and also.
Where is that?
Well, I think it's at the Birchwood, but I think they were finalizing the location. Also, the Chamber worked on Reflections, which I thought went fantastic. And there's another one on September 28th, and they need volunteers for that. And for all the committees, not all the committees, but the committees involved, we got an email that the Pattern Book Company will be, planned tentatively to start on October 7th, the week of October 7th, not October 7th specifically, that week, and they'll start that week doing their information gathering, so different stakeholder groups will be invited to meet with them.
Nice.
Very good. Okay, yep.
Wow.
Just,
And cue the chief.
in addition to the survey for the senior center is also on the recreation site, I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, very good. And then also business advisory, the dreaded word, 255s. So we're gonna
Really?
have to take a look at that because that's fast approaching. We're waiting before we bring it, for the board to continue to review it again. Business advisory had asked to be able to review the application and give some comments back. So we're waiting for the comments for them. I think they said that, first, second week October, that they'll have them to be able to supply something, to us for review on that, so. And anybody else have anything to report? Otherwise, I'll invite the chief up. Special permits, yes.
I just wanted to mention real quick, as the rec department liaison, the fall program book is out, and,
Yes, I got it in the mail, right?
yeah, a lot of stuff in it. I mean, I encourage people to read it, look at it. The rec department does a great job with that. And,
Just
if
the amount
it's
of
not
public-
something you
just
can't
the
find
trips
in there
they
to
do,
do,
all the
or
bus trips, oh
a
my
trip to
God.
go on or something, I don't know, there's so much to do. They do a great job with it, so it's out, look for it and go through it and see if there's something that interests you.
Maybe at the meetings too, we can pick a couple things out that are coming up and highlight them each week.
Sure, absolutely.
Might be a good idea.
I don't recommend going to the Jets game this year, but.
Chief, that's a good traffic circle to have.
I'm going to the Jets game down in Baltimore.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Figure that out, right? Where is that?
Singapore, I think.
All right, chief.
Good morning.
Traffic update. Good
Okay,
morning.
here's the traffic update. Traffic
There's
will be
traffic.
heavy this weekend.
I think it is gonna be,
Yeah.
it's already
Yeah.
heavy.
Eastbound or westbound?
Eastbound probably up until about 3,
Yeah.
and then
And then
westbound
westbound.
after that. We have the Maritime Festival in Greenport this weekend, so
So-
that will add to our traffic issue.
But one of the things, they have had extra trains for the
Trains.
Maritime Festival, so that is a
Right.
convenience for anybody if you wanted, and it's like $1 or
Yeah,
something.
and that is something you can do by train.
Yeah, so they'll have extra train service, you can look on the, Long Island Railroad, they'll have the schedule, and you can take the train from any of the stops here, back and forth, out to Greenport, and then you
Nice
don't have to
ride.
worry about parking out there.
My daughter and I do that all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm
So
bothered.
it's
It's a nice festival.
and it's a really convenient way to get out there, it's also a convenient way to get from any of the stops here without having to use your car.
And it's gonna be a beautiful weekend, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been doing that for a few years, and it seems to be pretty successful, the train from Riverhead out to Greenport for the Maritime,
Yeah,
and a lot of people are
take it.
using it, so it's good.
Makes sense.
Hopefully it helps.
All right, so
So
we,
otherwise, what we're doing is we'll be meeting with Mr. Harbs again
okay,
to go over the suggestions we made last week, again. We are.
What were those suggestions, just?
The main one is joining the 2 lots off-site, off Sound Avenue, on-site, off Sound Avenue.
That's at the Apple on
So then
Pier?
The new one, right, by Pier Avenue.
it doesn't exit onto Pier though.
No, it doesn't.
And-
It's onto Sound Avenue.
So they have the two lots, and right now they
East
have
and west,
curb
calling
cuts
it.
going into both of them, so, I mean, ideally, they would connect through the two lots with an easement, so you only had one in and out.
Right.
Instead of the double curb cuts
Right.
there.
So, and if we can't do that, then we're gonna make sure that it's one lot at a time that's open
Oh,
and
yeah, 'cause that
closed.
would be
If not,
crazy.
it's right, it gets to be really crazy, so. But he does have the ability, it seems, to connect them in the back of the farm.
Good.
So
Good
hopefully
job.
that'll happen. He didn't utilize the soft turn last weekend, so hopefully that will be functioning this weekend.
Was there a reason it wasn't?
I don't know
Okay.
yet.
And just a soft turn is it lets you come off without him coming to a dead stop?
Correct.
So you can ease in at a little bit more of a
Yeah.
higher rate of speed,
Right.
but it doesn't come to a dead stop
Right.
then.
So what does that mean? You're gonna use the shoulder?
No, he uses his property, so instead of making a hard, left turn to get in, you come in
When you're
on-
headed east?
When you're heading east, you come in on kind of an angle, and he puts gravel and he has, hay bales around it, so the people are guided right in.
So how does that,
It's not a
There's no
90
s-
degree,
there's
it's not a
no
90
stopping.
degree
asking
turn.
the chief, so,
Right, so there's no stopping, so
Right.
basically I don't stop and then make my left, I just keep on going. So there'll be someone directing them to just come, one of our personnel directing them to come right in.
yeah, cause the problem seems to be that the people that are turning left, whether you're turning a hard left at a 90-degree angle or doing a soft left, is that the traffic that's headed westbound is continuous.
Right.
So getting to
Yeah,
make
well,
that left has
We
been a
will have
problem.
personnel there to stop the westbound traffic, so there'll be two people directing
And,
traffic.
and how many people did we have that 1298 actually taught the traffic control?
Almost a dozen, I think it was.
It doesn't, and I asked the chief to invite other townships to come to that also, and
And that was beneficial because we actually have 3 people that want to become TCOs and
Very
TCSs
good.
in Riverhead, so.
Very good.
I'm gonna ask you guys to approve some stuff and then ratify later
No,
on.
thanks, I don't want
We
that.
have one that is interested in working this weekend.
Okay.
And Chief, just for the public to know that this is not funded out of the taxpayers' money, this is paid for by Harbs themselves when you
Correct.
have additional personnel.
TCOs, TCSs,
Correct.
Well,
part-time
not,
police.
not necessarily. We have at other intersections
Yeah,
also.
not all
So
personnel.
there is some supplementing from Harbs, for that area over there, but as far as the whole township goes, it does come out of our budget.
We are staffing Harbs with 5 people, so there'll be, 2 sets of 2 and then a relief so they get their breaks and their lunch and stuff like that. There'll also be a traffic sergeant assigned just to the east end to oversee what's going on out there.
Who gets that lucky
Sound,
duty?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. Sound 25 and, Peconic Bay Boulevard, east of 105, so they'll be focusing on that. We're also shifting sectors, so we're kind of reducing the size of the 602 sector so that he stays more to the east
Mhm.
than that little piece from Roanoke to 105, north of 25. So 602 will be assigned those duties in that area.
Who's picking that up? 601?
606 will be assigned those duties.
Okay.
That's good. I mean, it's always a big concern for me about getting emergency vehicles
Right.
out when we've got traffic like that.
We wanna talk to Mr. Harbs too about maybe having EMS right on site. I don't
Oh, that
know
would
if he
be good.
has that, but
Okay.
we're definitely gonna talk to him about that.
Do they get many calls there on the
No.
weekends? No.
No.
And then as far as the traffic, you said on, Peconic Bay Boulevard or Hubbard, where it goes to Edgar and then turns around to Meeting House, and then there always seems to be,
Tell people the route.
well, Waze takes them
Waze
there,
doesn't tell them that,
but
for sure.
Edgar Avenue is always a problem, Washington Avenue is always a problem, and, South Jamesport Avenue is always a problem. Are you gonna have people stationed there to be
So-
moving cars through 20, 25 at a time? I don't know if they discussed that
So
in the,
The traffic detail should be 10 personnel this weekend. That includes the traffic sergeant. The 5 that'll be on Harbs will be there, and then we have 4 that'll be assigned to the other intersections throughout the town.
Well, most of those people go down Washington and all that are heading east anyway, so it's a right turn only, so it's.
from Washington?
You're
It's
not
right
crossing
to-
traffic.
So the problem is
It's a
anytime you
four-way.
have heavy traffic and you have to break it for whatever reason to let other people out or make a left turn or something like that, that causes more traffic, so. I mean, you can just, even a traffic light causes traffic, we've seen that happen
Right.
too, so.
Oh, I agree, I think beautification, build traffic circles, the lights all.
So with the changing of the timing of the lights, were we able to do it, it seemed to move things on a little
Yes.
bit, so what they did was make the east-west lights longer.
Mhm.
So, that will continue through.
Yes, through the season.
Through the season.
Then I assume there'll be a follow-up to see how everything works.
Yeah, and we're also
Seems like you've got some good strategies.
We want to experiment with, maybe a detour down Herrick's to 25. If we do that, we think we could free up or stop the westbound traffic, so the eastbound traffic has that immediate turn without
Yep.
having to wait for anybody.
If you
Any-
listen, you can hear the phone ringing in my office. It's
Yeah, right,
someone
on
from
Herrick's,
Herrick's
for
calling
sure,
already.
I know.
But even if it varies on the street, you know, if it's an hour on one street and an
Right,
hour on
that's a
another
little-
crossroad street,
yeah,
so
right.
we don't inundate one street, I mean,
right.
it really, if you do between 12 and 2,
Right.
you're probably.
We thought about that, so instead of saying like 12 to 2 or 10 to 4 or something like that, maybe 30 minutes at a time or something like that. You know, if we free it up a little bit, and
Yeah.
we go back to the regular pattern, and then do it again later, 30 minutes, maybe
Okay.
that would work, so.
Well, the traffic's here, so it's good that we're looking at different ways to not only take care of our roadways, but the people that are driving, so they don't get frustrated and all that.
And have you requested in the budget additional signage at intersections advising people that the traffic is going to be from 12 to 2? And then also with the traffic safety committee, when the people have come in and they wanted the flashing lights with the speed limits put on the poles, I know that they were about $1,700 each. Have you requested money in the budget for signage?
Requested for a new VMS in the budget.
But the county has also agreed to give us signs for the fall season.
Right.
Okay, so do you have all the intersections picked out where
I
you
have.
think you need these signs, and we have enough signs?
We're keeping our VMS open right now to see where they're needed most, so.
Well, we'll leave that in your good hands.
Well, the request to
We did
get the.
request I'm sorry, requested the state to do the, overheads on, the LIE actually, to say best route to Greenport or something like
Yeah.
that would be 25 or something. They don't wanna do that.
Mm,
They
that's
say that Waze is going to control what people do, so.
We have an inward ways though, right?
We
Not
don't
we, but-
have.
Yeah, we
We've
have
tried,
yeah.
we've tried.
No,
I wish we could do that. I think that would make things a lot easier, especially on places like Pier Avenue and South Shore Road.
Feel free to report an accident on that road,
That's it.
they'll defer,
That's it. There will actually be someone posted on Pier and Sound.
Is, I.
and you'll put the sign
Central
back
Road's
up.
just
That's
a nice
local
road, but
traffic,
it's not,
right.
it's not a good bypass.
well, I was just gonna say, the request to get the TCOs trained originated with the Ag Advisory, cause they contribute to that, and they were complaining that they didn't think they were properly trained, so I'm really pleased that happened.
Yeah.
And I will report back, I'll speak to them and see how it all worked out.
It's a
They
I'm pleased we
notice
got
it.
more personnel.
See if they
Yeah,
can
yeah,
get out of it.
that's key, I think, you know, having, you know, especially this weekend and next weekend, I know you have 4 in other spots if need be, I think, you know, if you have to put a few more here or there, I think, you know, I think as needed, you can adjust to that.
And the sergeants have been good. They've been out there watching, the sergeants especially, and they're reporting, giving us reports Monday as far as how it went, so.
Very good, so we can continue to
Good.
tweak it as we go
Might be
along.
some, yeah, might be some adjustments.
Yeah. They'll be heavy the next 3 weekends.
Yeah, I mean, without a
Straight
doubt,
through to
there is,
Columbus Day
you know,
weekend, so.
I know a lot of people,
And
you know.
beyond, right through, probably right
Right.
through Halloween.
Yeah, right,
And it's supposed to be beautiful this weekend,
yes, 80 degrees.
80s.
Go to the beach.
I'm going to Cups.
Ride your bike.
Right.
And then another big shout out to 1298, local 1298, because they did have a trainer actually come to the police station and give the training course to make it easier for our people rather than them traveling to the training center in Bohemia. So if the press wants to give them kudos, I will be more than happy to give you the president of 1298's information to reach out to him, because a lot of our unions are getting more involved in the local communities, and it's a good thing. So did they get the certificates for the completion of the course?
I haven't seen them yet.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Very good, thank you very much,
Okay. All
appreciate it.
set?
Thanks.
Thank you, have a great day, and please drive carefully out there, will you, please?
Yes.
Don't
Yeah.
text and drive.
Don't
Yeah.
text, yeah, I know, I got stuff,
All right, that's really, unless anybody has anything else, we will move into executive session for negotiation of an employment contract, matters surrounding an MOA with the PBA. Matters surrounding the hiring of traffic control specialists and
Denied.
litigation, current litigation in the matter of Oak Hills Association versus Woodson.
Vote no.
So moved.
Okay, so moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So
Aye.
carried.
Aye,
Aye, aye,
aye,
aye.
aye, aye.